All right, we're about to start up this, what is this? It's a Toyota, and the AC on this is in a matrix. That's what we have here. So right now I'm trending the data logging, the temperature of my temperature probes. As you can see, I have one stuck in the dash right there. This vehicle has been here a few days. It's been inside a garage. It's not in the heat of the sun. As you can see out there, there's the heat of the sun. And it is only roughly around 80 degrees. Okay, so I'm data logging. You can see the other one, I got it stuck in the fresh air vent right there. That's the other probe. So that's why we have the fresh air vent is the red line. The blue line is the vent coming out of the dash. So now let's get over to the pressures and we'll start this vehicle up. It doesn't like my gloves. So if we get over to the pressures, we can see we're almost dead even. And because the pressure did not equalize, I completely filled this thing up through the high side using liquid. The tank is standing up right now, but it's already turned off. The liquid has already been fed in. You've seen my videos before where I fill them up within less than 30 seconds, solid liquid. So it's closed, and let's data log and graph the pressures. So now we're in the pressure mode. We're now watching the pressures, high side and low side, and you'll see them data log right there. You see the low side is just a little bit lower than the high side. So let's go start this vehicle up. Now, other than my light blinding you a little bit, sorry about that. We will start this up. Emergency on in park. Foot on the brake. And let's see. AC on. Have it to face. Put it max cool. Max fan. Max cooling. All right. I think we are good to go. Ignition, the key, and start. Engine has started. You'll see the clutch kick in a second after. There we go. There we go. We have just engaged the clutch. I'm going to show you, we're heading up to 140. We're down here on the low side, 20 something. Where are we at? 21 PSI on the low side. Where are we ending up at the high side? 136 PSI on the high side. And where are we ending up in our temperatures? There's our temperature. You could tell when the compressor started, because as soon as the compressor started, the evaporator started getting cold. So we'll watch this for a minute, and let's go back. Where are we at on this one? Our actual superheat, 24. Our actual subcooling, 18. And I'm curious, since this vehicle has 178,000 miles, I forgot if this vehicle has a cabin air filter. Let's see. I got to go around the other side, and we're going to check to see if this cabin air filter has been changed and cleaned. Glasses. Oh, it's one of these, bitch. I like the ones where you could just yank them out with your finger. I don't think I'll be able to do this easily. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I could get in here. Okay, so let's turn this down. And let's see, just out of politeness. I don't have to do this because this is a body shop. And I'm just in here because they replaced the condenser. But when it's easy, I like to check people's, make sure they're oh, it's pretty clean. This has been changed before. It's a little dirty. Let's just knock the big stuff out of there. And when I could see, oh, there's a ton of dust in the air right now. And I like to get the air blower sometimes, but since I'm making a video, I want to get this done and over with. And it has the little arrow down there that tells you this direction for airflow, which you see them installed upside down sometimes. So we'll put this back in there. Did I put that in wrong? Oh, that was easy. Okay. Okay, why am I not? Oh, I know, it hit the first, there we go. Okay, so we're there. And we gotta get in that groove there. There we go. Okay, so that's how the air filter is done. So let's turn this back on. Okay. And let's see where we're heading towards on temperature wise. Okay, right now we're at 50. 49. And since the air temperature is so cool outside, there'll really be very little this. Now, if it was even a worse condenser, I've seen ones where they only have 12 fins an inch and even less tubes. And then even on cool days, you'll see the high side pressure jump up. This one's not too horribly bad. Not great. This one, I didn't look to see if it was a variable displacement compressor or not, but let's take up the RPMs. Let's watch our supply temperature, and let's see, can I get the pressure? Can I get the pressures in here so you can see? I want you to see the RPM. I want you to see the pressure or the temperature coming out of the dash, and I want you to see the pressures. And we're going to determine, without looking at the compressor, do we think this is a variable displacement compressor? So here goes the RPMs. Let's get up to about 1500 RPMs, 18. If I could get it up there. Come on, steady, give me a steady foot. And temperature definitely dives. Pressure definitely dives. And let's see if it stables out. Now, if it stays like this, we have a fixed piston compressor. If it goes back to 30, I was just gonna say, if it goes back to 30 and comes back down to where it was before, we might have a variable displacement unless it's kicking out. Let's find out. I can't get this. I'm trying to get the RPMs really steady, because unless I could get some nice steady RPMs, having an RPM that's jumping up and down, and it looks like we have a compressor clutch kicking in and out, and we do not have a variable displacement compressor, and our temperature swinging all over the place because we have a clutch going in and out. We don't have a high side that is taking over and stabling back out when it's up there. So now I'm going to let it idle. And now let's go out and look at the compressor visually and see what we find. If we find that displacement valve on there, and we'll come back to this. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, I just caught the corner of my head on that because it's not up all the way. Oh shit. So, if you take a look in here, good thing I got gloves on. Right here is your wire for your power. One single wire. Then you see out of the clutch, and you can see the clutch is off right now. You see out there the clutch is going on. So we got a clutch on and off, but just because it has a clutch doesn't mean it's not a variable displacement compressor. But if we come out of here, we see the wire goes to a pigtail and it goes up here to a ground. So we have a ground and a power to energize the magnetic coil for the clutch. So there's nothing in its path. If we come up here and follow it, it just goes into the wiring harness. If we look at the compressor and we follow it all the way around, let's See if I can get underneath. We have a good opportunity because this is a collision car and all the plastic panels are off. And if we look under the compressor, up on the side, try to get a little peek back inside. There's no wiring, and this wire that you see right here is for the crank sensor that you see right there going off to the crank. That has nothing to do with the AC. There is no variable displacement control valve. So this is an old school mechanical fixed piston compressor that does not vary. And that's why we were getting the reaction of the high side going up and the low side going down, and you did not see them level back off because you did not have a variable displacement compressor taking over with the computer telling it to do something different than what we suspect it would normally do, like this situation. It's only when you start seeing these over and over again repetitively, you get yourself familiarized with the way the system reacts to different scenarios. You could kind of tell, sometimes, not all the time, you could kind of tell that it's variable displacement or not. I have video documented a few variable displacement compressors that actually do dive on the low side and go up on the high side when you raise the RPMs up to, say, 1500 RPMs, 2000 RPMs, and it doesn't self-correct again. There are a few models that do that. And so then that will throw guys off who are taught in classes, they sit in a class or they read a book and they say, variable displacement compressors always work like that. No, they don't always work like that. If the manufacturer has something programmed into their algorithm, into their program to do something different, it will do something different. Okay, that's it for now. We are seeing 39 degrees coming out of the dash right now. Right there. And you can hear the compressor kicking in and out, and you can hear the fans come on, and you can hear the engine idle speed kick up a little bit because it's trying to compensate for the load of the compressor. And that's it from this one. And it's not 134. I mean, it's not YF. I have YF up here. Let's go down to the right one. Wrong way. There you go, 134. So that's what it's really doing. And there's no load because it's a cool day and we're in the shade. And I see 39 degrees, but yet the temperature of the evaporator, you see I have the clamp right off the suction line coming directly out of the evaporator. You see the evaporator is like staying at 50 degrees, even though it's 39 degrees coming out of the dash. And like many times I video recorded before, sometimes you'll have a evaporator temperature that could be 30 degrees and you can have 39 degrees out the dash. Sometimes you could have an evaporator temperature that's 60 degrees and you have 39 degrees coming out of the dash. All year, make, model, and different AC systems were not created equal, and they do not follow the same rules. Especially when you have, this one seems like it has a single fan, fixed speed, and it's just on or off, constantly cycling the compressor. Alright guys, I will see you later on this one, and I'm just here to prove to you that throughout all my videos you've been watching, that pressures and temperatures are not the same on all vehicles. And they do not all follow the same situation of temperatures out the dash, temperatures of suction lines, high side pressures, low side pressures. We've seen superheat down to 0, superheat up to 40. We had subcooling down to 3 or 4, and we've had subcooling up to 34, 37 or so. And it was always normal for that year, make, model vehicle on that AC system for the charge that the manufacturer requires, weighting by weight only. It's always different. All right, see you guys.